Ever been standing there, maybe in the grocery aisle, just staring at a million different kinds of something, totally paralyzed,
Mhm.
or, you're about to click buy on something big online, and you just hesitate?
Oh, absolutely. Every single choice, whether it's your morning coffee or like a new car, it involves this whole fascinating process happening under the surface.
It really does. And what feels like just, buying something for you from a marketer's angle, it's this complex journey.
Exactly. And for those of you joining us, especially you juniors in the Principles of Marketing Foundations course there at Appalachian State University, getting this stuff isn't just, well, academic theory.
No, not at all. This is like the absolute foundation for being a really effective marketer. It gives you this kind of superpower, understanding, maybe even predicting how people actually decide to buy things.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah, welcome. Today, our mission is basically to cut through all the jargon and give you a really solid, quick understanding of consumer buying behavior.
We're going to break down what influences how and why people, spend their money. We've pulled this straight from your course materials, but we're adding some real-world examples and discussion points to help it stick.
Ready to dive in?
Let's do it. So, to really get consumer buying behavior, we've got to look past just the moment someone buys something.
Right. It's about the whole decision process, the actions people take when they're buying and using products for themselves, personally, not for a business.
And then the fascinating part is it's usually not just one single event. It's typically a journey, often through multiple stages.
Exactly. People often call it the five-stage consumer buying decision process. But here's something really key for you as future marketers. People don't always go through all five stages for every single purchase.
hmm And a decision can stop dead at any point before the actual purchase happens. Think about what that means for your marketing strategy.
Okay, so stage one.
Stage one is problem recognition. This is when you, the buyer, sense a difference between, let's say, your current situation and where you'd like to be.
It could be sudden, right? Like, bam, your car just dies on the way to an important meeting.
Exactly. Or it could be slower, like you gradually realizing your old laptop just can't handle the software you need for your courses anymore.
And this is where marketers jump in,
Well,
trying to make you feel that need.
totally. They use advertising, maybe slick packaging, or sales promotions to kind of spark that recognition. Remember that example from class? A student walks into class, first day, realizes they need a specific programmable calculator they don't have.
Yeah, instant problem recognition.
Boom, problem recognized. So once you know you have a problem, what's next?
Stage two, information search. You start looking for ways to solve that problem.
And this can start internally, right? Just searching your own memory.
Yeah, an internal search. Oh, I tried that brand of coffee before. It was pretty good.
Huh.
Or my friend had one of those. Seemed okay.
But if your memory's blank, or maybe the purchase feels like a bigger deal.
Then you move to an external search. You're actively looking outside yourself.
Right. Asking friends, family, checking out public sources like consumer reports. Think about a new grad researching car safety ratings. That's a serious external search.
And obviously, marketer stuff,
Yeah.
ads, websites, maybe an in-store demo. The internet has just completely changed this stage, hasn't it?
Oh, completely. It's a massive source now. And that's why marketers, repeat ads. They're trying to help lodge that info in your memory for later recall.
But there's a risk there, too.
Definitely. Too much repetition and people just tune it out. It's called wear out. You got to be memorable, but not like annoying.
Okay, so you've done your research. Now what?
Now you hit stage 3, evaluation of alternative. You take all that info and narrow things down. You create what's called a consideration set, or sometimes an evoked set.
So like the finalists, the grands you're actually considering.
Exactly. And then you start judging them based on your own evaluative criteria. These are the features or characteristics, both objective like price and subjective like style, that matter to you.
Like that example of a teenager looking at MP3 players, maybe starting with a dozen options, but narrowing it down to just 2 based on battery life and maybe how cool it looks.
Perfect example. And marketers try to influence this stage too, right?
Oh, yeah. How they frame the product's features, the words they use, the comparisons they make that can really nudge your evaluation one way or another. It's subtle.
Okay, stage 4, the moment of truth.
Purchase. Yep. You make your choice based on that evaluation. But even now, practical stuff matters. Is the product actually available? Which store or website do you buy from? What are the payment terms?
Right. It's not just picking the best one in theory. Think about someone buying a car. They've done all the research, picked the model, but now they actually have to secure the loan and find a dealer who has it in the right color. That's the purchase stage.
And like you said earlier, the whole process can just end here if you decide not to buy after all. Or maybe you can't find it.
True. But let's say you do buy it. Back to done.
Not quite. There's stage 5. Post-purchase evaluation. After you buy, you basically evaluate if it met your expectations.
And this is where that dreaded feeling can creep in.
Cognitive dissonance. Yeah, buyer's remorse. That little nagging doubt like, did I make the right choice? Especially common with bigger, more expensive purchases.
We've all been there. Maybe you buy a fancy outfit and then later think, ugh, this isn't really right for the party. Or you give a gift and find out they already got one.
And for marketers, this stage is super important, right? You don't want people regretting their purchase.
Absolutely crucial. Good marketers follow up, maybe a call, an email just to check in, offer help, reassure you. It reduces that dissonance. If you mess this up, you don't just lose a future sale, you risk bad word of mouth.
And think about massive screw-ups, like those big car recalls, GM's ignition switches, the VW emissions thing.
Oh, those were post-purchase nightmares on a huge scale. The trust was just shattered. Those companies had to spend years and millions trying to win back consumer confidence. It just shows how vital this last stage really is.
Okay, so that's the 5-stage model. But it's not always that formal or that involved, is it?
Yeah.
The effort we put in varies a lot.
Exactly. Not all decisions are created equal. We usually talk about 3 main types of consumer decision-making based on effort.
First up,
Routinized response behavior. Think minimal effort. This is for your everyday, low-price stuff you buy all the time. Milk, bread, your usual brand of toothpaste.
you barely even think about it. It's almost automatic.
Pretty much. Then you have limited decision-making. This takes a bit more time, moderate effort. Maybe you're buying something occasionally or trying a new brand in a category you know.
Like maybe your usual coffee shop is closed, so you need to quickly pick a new one nearby. Or finding a new dry cleaner.
Good examples. You'll think about it a bit, maybe check a review or two, but it's not a massive research project.
And the third type.
Extended problem solving. This is the full-on, high-effort process, usually for things that are unfamiliar, expensive, or you just don't buy them very often.
Cars, houses.
Your college education. Big decisions that involve a lot of research, comparing options, weighing criteria.
And we should also mention impulse buying, right? That sudden urge.
Oh yeah, totally unplanned. You see something, you feel this powerful urge, and you just buy it right there and then, often driven purely by emotion, not logic.
So what determines how much effort we put in? What drives whether it's routinized or extended?
A key factor is your level of involvement. Basically, how much personal interest and importance you attach to that specific product or purchase.
Okay, so high involvement products would be.
Things that are maybe expensive, visible to others, carry some kind of risk, or just really important to you personally. Cars, clothes for a big event, healthcare choices.
Makes sense. And low involvement products.
Usually less expensive, lower risk, maybe less about your self-image. A lot of groceries fall into this category. It just doesn't feel like a big deal if you pick the wrong brand of paper towels.
And involvement isn't always the same.
Right.
It can change.
Definitely. We talk about enduring involvement, which is like a long-term passion or interest in a category. Maybe you're really into high-end audio equipment, versus situational involvement, which is temporary.
Like if your trusty old vacuum cleaner suddenly breaks right before guests arrive.
Exactly. Suddenly, buying a new vacuum becomes a high-involvement, urgent situation, even if you normally don't care much about vacuums.
So things like perceived risk, your past experience, just general interest, they all play into how involved you get.
Right. And think about that gift buying example from your discussion starters. Buying a small gift for a secret buddy at work. Probably low involvement, maybe limited decision-making.
But buying a gift for your future mother-in-law.
Whoa, involvement skyrockets. That could easily become extended problem-solving. You'll likely put way more thought and effort into that decision.
That really highlights how context changes everything. It connects to that Campbell's soup case too, doesn't it?
It does. Think about it. Buying regular soup for yourself, generally low involvement, but parents buying baby food like Campbell's Plum Organics line.
Involvement goes way up because parents are intensely concerned about health, safety, nutrition for their baby.
Precisely. So Campbell's needs totally different marketing messages and strategies for those two scenarios, addressing very different levels of consumer involvement.
Okay, beyond the type of decision, there are also these immediate factors that can sway things, right? The situational stuff.
Yeah, situational influences. These are things related to the specific circumstances, the time, the location, that can pop up and affect your decision at any stage. They can speed things up, slow things down, even stop a purchase completely.
What kinds of things are we talking about?
There are about 5 main categories. First, physical surroundings, the actual place you're in. Store layout, cleanliness, music, lighting, even smells.
Like if a store is super crowded and loud, you might just leave without buying what you came for.
Yep. Or maybe a really pleasant atmosphere encourages you to browse longer. Second, social surroundings. Who else is there with you?
Friends influencing your clothing choices. A salesperson being really helpful.
Mhm.
Or maybe too pushy.
Exactly. The people around you matter. Third is the time dimension. How much time do you have? Are you rushed? Is it certain time of day or year? Time pressure can force a quick choice or make you delay it.
Then there's the purchase reason. Why are you buying this? What's it for and who is it for?
Buying a textbook for class feels different than buying a birthday gift for your best friend, which feels different than treating yourself. The reason shapes the process.
And lastly,
The buyer's momentary moods or conditions. Just how you're feeling right then and there. Tired, stressed, happy, maybe you just got paid, or you're feeling unwell.
so if you're feeling rushed and stressed, you might make a quick, less than ideal choice.
Or maybe you're just too tired to even bother evaluating options properly. These temporary states can have a big impact.
Okay, so we've covered the process, the effort levels, the situation. Now let's dive into the internal stuff, the psychological influences.
Right. These are the factors inside your own head that shape how you behave as a consumer. Though, of course, they're always interacting with those social forces we'll get to later.
Where do we start?
Let's start with perception. This is fundamental. It's how you select, organize, and interpret information coming in through your senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, to create meaning.
So it's how we make sense of the world around us.
Pretty much, and it's not passive. You actively filter and shape what you perceive. There are 3 key steps here. First, selective exposure.
Meaning you kind of choose what you even pay attention to.
Yep. Your brain filters out a lot of noise. You're more likely to notice ads for things you actually need or are interested in. Second, selective distortion.
That sounds like twisting things.
It can be. It's changing or twisting information that conflicts with your existing beliefs or feelings. If you love a certain brand, you might downplay negative reviews you see about it.
And the third one?
Selective retention. Remembering the stuff that supports your beliefs and conveniently forgetting the stuff that doesn't.
Wow. So our brains are constantly editing our reality to fit what we already think.
In a way, yes. And we also organize information through perceptual organization. Your brain tries to make sense of stimuli by grouping them or seeing patterns, like recognizing a logo even if part of it is obscure. That's closure.
And then we assign meaning, right? Interpretation.
Right, based on your experiences, expectations, familiarity. The challenge for marketers here is huge. You can put a message out there, but you don't control how each person perceives, distorts, or remembers it.
That Campbell's example fits again, doesn't it? With their new packaging, like glass jars for premium soups.
Exactly. They're trying to directly influence consumer perception of quality, sophistication, maybe even healthiness through how the product looks and feels. It's about managing those sensory inputs and interpretations.
Okay, what's next after perception?
Motivation. These are the internal forces, the drives, the reasons why you do things.
And this is where Maslow comes in.
Ah, yes, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the classic pyramid. It suggests we try to satisfy needs in a certain order.
Starting with the basics.
Right. Physiological needs first. Food, water, shelter, the essentials for survival. Once those are met, you move up to safety needs, security, feeling safe from harm.
Then comes belonging.
Social needs, love, affection, feeling like you belong to a group. After that, esteem needs, seeking respect from others, feeling good about yourself, achievement, recognition.
And the top is?
Self-actualization needs. This is about realizing your full potential, personal growth, creativity.
So how does this help marketers?
Well, you need to figure out which need or needs your product helps satisfy, and you can often frame the same product to appeal to different needs. Think about buying a fancy handbag, like a Coach bag from the class exercise.
It's probably not about basic survival.
Not likely. It's probably tapping into social needs, fitting in, belonging, where esteem needs status, image, feeling successful, understanding that motivation is key to your messaging.
Makes sense. What about learning?
Learning is about changes in your behavior or thought processes that happen because of new information or experiences. Basically, if you try something and have a good experience, You learn, and you're more likely to do it again.
So trying a free sample and liking it, that's learning.
Absolutely. Or taking a test drive, that's direct experience. But you also learn indirectly from salespeople, friends, reading reviews, seeing ads.
Like Martha in the class example, who grew up with PCs but used Macs in college and learned to appreciate them.
Perfect illustration. That positive experience led to learning, which now influences her future buying intentions. She wants a Mac.
Okay, next up, attitudes. These seem really important.
Hugely important. An attitude is your lasting evaluation, your feelings, and your behavioral tendencies towards something, an object, an idea, a brand, a person. They tend to be stable, but they can be changed, though it's often difficult.
And they have different parts.
Yes, typically three components. Cognitive, what you know or believe, affective, what you feel, and behavioral, what you tend to do.
And marketers are obsessed with attitudes.
Pretty much, because attitudes strongly predict success or failure. They measure attitudes towards everything: prices, packaging, ads, customer service. There are even complex models like the fishbone model or the theory of reasoned action to understand them better.
So if someone has a negative attitude, what can a marketer do?
It's tough. You can try to change the cognitive part by providing new information, or you can target the affective part with emotional appeals. Think about Fred from class. With his strong positive feelings for Apple despite criticism, his affective component is really strong.
And we saw Campbell's addressing attitudes with health-focused products.
Right. Aligning with positive attitudes toward health. And Ford making its app available to non-customers. That's partly about building positive attitudes before someone is even in the market for a car. It's a long game.
What about our own sense of self? Personality.
Yep. Personality and self-concept. Personality refers to your internal traits and behavioral tendencies. Are you introverted, extroverted, cautious, adventurous? Marketers believe personality links to buying, using tools like Nielsen's C.7 to segment based on these traits.
And self-concept, that's your self-image.
Exactly, how you see yourself. And often, you buy products that you feel reflect or enhance that self-image. Remember Jenny from the Apple example. She cared more about what the product said about her than its features.
That's definitely self-concept driving the purchase.
Totally. And closely related is lifestyles. This is your overall pattern of living your activities, interests, opinions, often called AIOs.
It's influenced by personality and demographics.
Right. And it strongly affects what you buy, which brands you prefer, where you shop, what media you consume. That PRISM system we mentioned segments people into lifestyle groups based on things like income, education, urbanization, technology use.
And the Ford Pass app example fits here too, right? Helping people live their preferred lifestyle, whether that's urban ride-sharing or family road trips.
Exactly. It's about fitting into how people actually live their lives or aspire to live.
No, okay, so those are the internal psychological factors. Now let's look outwards at the social influences, the forces from other people.
Right. We don't make decisions in a vacuum. Other people and groups have a huge impact.
Starting with roles.
Yeah. Each of us plays multiple roles: student, employee, friend, parent, sibling. Each role has certain expectations for behavior, and that influences what we buy.
Like the class exercise asking how being a student influences what you wear.
Perfect example. Or how Ford has to consider the different roles their customers play: commuters, retirees staying active, parents hauling kids when designing cars and services.
And family influences must be huge.
Absolutely massive. There's something called consumer socialization, which is basically how you learn to be a consumer, often starting with your parents teaching you.
And within the family, different people might play different roles in a purchase.
Definitely. You might have a gatekeeper who controls the flow of information, an influencer who voices opinions, the decider who makes the final call, the buyer who physically makes the purchase, and the user who actually consumes or uses the product.
That sounds complicated.
It can be. Think about buying breakfast cereal for the family. A child may be the influencer. I want the one with the cartoon character. One parent might be the decider based on nutrition, and the other parent might be the buyer who picks it up at the store.
And Campbell's targeting parents for baby food that's tapping directly into that family decision-making unit.
Precisely. Next, reference groups. Any group that you look to for guidance on values, attitudes, or behavior.
These aren't just groups you belong to.
No. There are membership groups, you're actually in them. Aspirational groups, you wish you were in them. And dissociative groups, you definitely don't want to be associated with them.
And marketers use these all the time in ads, right? Showing cool, popular people using their product.
All the time. They're trying to link their product to your aspirational groups or maybe distance it from dissociative ones.
What about online influences?
Digital influences. Huge today.
Yeah.
Social media, online reviews on Amazon or Yelp, influencers, they all shape opinions and can make you feel more confident or less risky about a purchase.
Which brings up that whole debate about online tracking and privacy.
Yeah, the discussion question about opt-in versus opt-out. It highlights how intertwined digital influence, marketing data, and consumer privacy have become. It's a really tricky area.
Who else influences us?
Opinion leaders. These are people within your reference groups who are knowledgeable about certain products and whose opinions you trust.
Like that one friend everyone asks about the best new phone.
Exactly. They're influential, especially if the product is complex, high involvement, or if you share their values.
Then there's social class.
Right. Broad groups of people with similar social rank, often based on things like occupation, education, income, wealth. People within a social class often share similar attitudes, values, and buying patterns. Like that people like us idea from the discussion starter, how your choices in home decor might signal your social class background.
Mm-hmm. It influences taste, spending habits, where you shop, what you value in a product. It's a powerful, often subconscious influence.
And finally, the biggest influence of all.
Culture and subcultures. Culture is everything, the shared values, beliefs, customs, language, symbols, artifacts that define a society and get passed down. It shapes everything about how we live and consume.
And subcultures?
Groups within that larger culture that share distinct characteristics, values, or behaviors could be based on ethnicity, religion, geography, age. In the U.S., marketers pay close attention to large subcultures like African American, Hispanic, and Asian American consumers, recognizing their unique needs and preferences.
Like noting that Asian Americans often have higher household incomes.
Right. That's a key demographic insight for certain product categories. And think about Campbell's again adapting global flavors or using heritage recipes appeals directly to cultural and subcultural values. It's incredibly complex. Before we wrap up, we should briefly mention the flip side.
Ah, yes, consumer misbehavior. Behavior that kind of goes against the accepted norms of society.
Things like shoplifting.
Shoplifting, fraud, being abusive to service staff, pirating software or movies. Unfortunately, it happens. Understanding the why behind it, the psychological or social drivers, can help businesses prevent it or respond better when it occurs.
Wow. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground here. From that initial spark of need, all the way through evaluating, buying, and then thinking about it afterwards.
And all those layers. The type of decision, the situation, the deep psychological drivers like perception and motivation, and the powerful social forces like family, groups, and culture.
It's definitely not simple. It's this incredibly dynamic mix of things constantly influencing each other.
And it keeps changing, especially with technology and evolving cultural norms. It's what makes marketing so challenging, but also so interesting.
Absolutely. So for all of you listening, especially our App State marketing students, here's the challenge, your final takeaway. Become a really sharp observer of this stuff in your own life.
Pay attention to how you make decisions.
Exactly. Next time you're picking out, I don't know, a new pair of sneakers or choosing where to get lunch or downloading an app, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, okay, which stages did I really go through? What situational factors were maybe pushing me? What psychological buttons got pressed? Was my level of involvement high or low?
Understanding your own process.
That's where the real insights come from. Getting that on a gut level, that's going to be your superpower when you step out into the world of marketing.